Thank you. Pledge allegiance, please, Mr. President.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, may we have roll call, please?
Councilman Lunsford.
Here.
Councilman Brown.
Here.
Councilman Gress.
Here.
Councilman Campton.
Here.
Councilman Emmons.
Here.
Councilman Dahl.
Here.
Councilman Showalter.
Here.
Okay, all
Okay,
present.
very good. In front of you, you have the minutes from the June 8th, 2020 regular meeting. Have you had time to look at that? Any questions on those minutes?
I move we approve them as read.
Okay, Councilman Dahl
Second it.
and Councilman Gress seconds it. Thank you. I don't think, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Okay, we got written presentation of claims in front of you also. Anybody have any questions or on these claims?
I make that motion that they do.
Okay. Councilman Emmons makes a motion to move the claims to the Board of Works.
Second.
Second by Councilman Brown. All in favor of that?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Any comments from the public other than what's on the agenda for tonight? Okay, hearing none. We'll move on to resolutions. We have no resolutions tonight. And then move to ordinance. We got the final reading of ordinance number 3-2020. May I have a motion to read this ordinance?
So moved by title only.
Councilman Brown by title only. Second by Councilman Campton. All in favor?
Aye.
Tim?
Ordinance number 3-2020, an ordinance of the City of Washington authorizing the execution and delivery of the fourth amendatory agreement to the power sales contract between the Indiana Municipal Power Agency and the City of Washington and other matters connected therewith.
Okay. We do have, I forget, Brian from the IMPA here to say a few words, just kind of give us a little brief history on this for some of the new council members.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. As the mayor said, my name is Brian Brackemeyer. I'm the Vice President of Member Services for IMPA, and first off, I want to say thank you. Thank you for getting me out of my house and out of my office. The past 90 days have been interesting, but it's great to see some familiar faces and get some sunshine. And also want to thank you all for the City of Washington for being a founding member of IMPA. In 1982, Washington, along with 10 other communities, were some of the founding members of IMPA and started off with the 50-year contracts. Those initially didn't have any assets, and then we've kind of grown that over the years, so now we have members all throughout Indiana and Ohio and have nearly $2 billion in assets. And none of that would happen without the fortitude of the City of Washington and other communities to make that happen. Reason why we're moving forward with contract extensions or proposals is because obviously we've been around for quite some time and our generation portfolio is changing. We have some units that are getting near retirement and some contracts are about to expire, so we really need to start planning for what the future looks like. Some of these contracts don't expire until 2034 and some of these units still have quite a ways to go, but in our world, some of these construction projects can take 10+ years in order to happen. So when you look at just the entire mission statement of IMPA is to provide low-cost, reliable, environmentally responsible power, we want to be good stewards of our membership's dollars so we can plan accordingly to make sure we can still have that low-cost, reliable, environmentally responsible power. I think we've done a good job of that. Over the past 3 years, we were grateful to have 3 consecutive years of rate reductions and consistently are among some of the lowest wholesale rates in the state of Indiana. And again, none of this would have happened without the good leadership of our board and other communities like the City of Washington. So can't thank you enough. We are going through this process at an interesting time with COVID, and so far about a third of our members have already agreed to extend their contracts, and kind of the nuts and bolts of that would be right now, the contract currently expires in 2042 with a 10-year termination notice, and we're proposing to extend the contract 8 years till 2050 with a 30-year termination notice. Reason for that too is because as we are planning for the future and looking to, again, keep rates low, we need to bond those investments over a long period of time. Just like a mortgage, the longer you spread out that bond, the lower your cost is ultimately going to be. But here to answer any questions you might have. So again, just want to say thank you for your continued membership and partnership with IMPA.
Anybody have any questions for Brian? Like I say, yeah, all the years I've been with the city, and I know we've been IMPA. I remember Mayor Baumert back in the 80s, and he came to us, asked for this extension, and I thought it was well worth cause to extend this to 2050.
And I'd like to
Yeah.
comment that one good thing about it being in it is we can call them at any time, and by being members, we do get so much that, I mean, sure, there's costs down the road for it, but it's not paying an attorney up front. They'll answer questions that we have. I know Anita used to call them a lot. And
Yeah.
I'd call them to ask them questions,
Yeah.
and they'd get the answers for us, and there wouldn't be no bill.
Yeah, and I know Randy has since he's been in, and we've had some questions on some issues other than, and they've been able to help us and give us some direction on it.
They always try to help and do the
Yeah.
best they can to help their communities.
Thank you, Randy, and thank you for being a commissioner as well, and also Anita for being a former commissioner as well.
Yeah, yeah, we have a lot of ties with Randy and Anita with IMPA.
And you know what, they know us, they know us individually,
Yeah.
everybody does.
Yeah.
It's just wonderful.
Okay, nobody has any other questions. I have a motion to approve this ordinance.
So moved.
If Councilman Brown makes a motion to approve it,
Second.
second by Councilman Dahl, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Roll call vote.
We need a roll call on that.
Oh, yeah, roll call, yes, I'm sorry, yes.
Okay, Councilman Lunsford,
Aye.
Councilman Brown,
Aye.
Councilman Gress,
Aye.
Councilman Campton,
Aye.
Councilman Emmons,
Aye.
Councilman Dahl,
Aye.
Councilman Showalter.
Aye.
Okay, very good, thank you, yes. Okay, we have the final reading of ordinance 6-2020.
I move we approve that, title only.
Motion to read this by title only by Councilman Dahl. Second by Councilman Showalter. Tim, please.
Ordinance 6-2020, an ordinance creating funds for wastewater treatment plant improvements, phosphorus removal facility.
Okay, Beth, you talked about this just briefly the last time. You'd like to?
Yes, it's just setting up the funds for the Okra grant to go into.
Yes.
And also for the proceeds, our portion of the match to go into, so we can track it and report to Okra, do the paperwork for it.
Yeah, Beth came up with something, and I think she caught, we need to do this, and we've, with this money coming in, we just want to make sure we do all the right stuff to, meet all of our goals with Okra and everybody else.
Needs detailed paperwork, and we just wanted to make sure we had separate
Right.
funds to track it with,
Okay.
yes.
Anybody have any questions on this? Hearing none, can I have a motion to approve this ordinance, please?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Councilman Emmons, and second by Councilman Campton. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Yes, okay. Councilman Lunsford. Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Councilman Gress.
Aye.
Councilman Campton.
Aye.
Councilman Emmons.
Aye.
Councilman Dahl.
Aye.
Councilman Showalter.
Aye.
Okay, that ordinance will be approved and put in place. Anybody have any other business for the council? Any,
I had a call today about a Airbnb on Grand Avenue. Resident on Walnut is concerned, and I think he may misunderstand that he thought it was a business going in there, but I think it's more of a rental. They just rent them, but it's something we may need to check into the more that them are springing up, and
yeah,
I don't know that we have anything in our,
No,
and I don't know if there's anything that could be done either, but I told him that I would bring it up.
okay.
And I know Jonathan and
Yeah.
Brian have both looked into it and been talking to him about it, and
I think the only thing different than a regular rental would be time frame. You know, so you can, not necessarily, I mean, there's still a contract, maybe a weekend, maybe a week, maybe a month. Yeah, but there's nothing currently in the ordinance.
Yeah.
Switching heads to
Yeah.
the zoning board. The only problem that I can see looking down the road is if somebody gets a large house, puts it in 10 or 15 rooms, and says it's an Airbnb, and then we have ostensibly a dormitory for transient workers. It might be good, just from the point of view of the zoning board, for the council to look at this so that we have some guidance on what you guys think as far as this type of situation, because when the zoning code was set up, I'm not real sure that people thought about Airbnbs.
Yeah.
Do they rent the whole house at a time, or do they rent a room in the house?
It's typically the whole house.
Pretty much, yeah.
The whole house.
They can possibly do it room by room. That'd make it a rooming house.
Yeah.
I mean, you can rent rooms on Airbnb, but it's typically the whole house.
That's why I think you guys need to.
We've had that situation come up before, haven't we, Don?
Yeah. And, you know, we need to have some.
It wasn't an Airbnb setup, but
Yeah, but it would be nice to have some guidance.
We'll look into that now.
It would be something to do like short-term lease rentals versus a long-term rental.
yeah. treat it
Something in the
different.
ordinance to treat them different.
Is it a business or is it is it housing? You know,
Yeah.
Is it a hotel or is it a?
I think it's on that fine line.
Yeah, well, that's why you guys need to tell us what you think it is, because once you say
I've
what it is.
seen lots of
you
cities
know
try to
how
tackle this, and I'm not sure that they've ever come up with a solution
Yeah.
on it either.
It's a problem.
But, I mean, I know a lot of cities have tried, so I mean, I guess we can probably look into
It's-
what other cities have tried and not do that.
It is what you say it is.
What some cities have tried is to set a cap on the number of people that can be rented to, but then what about exceptionally large families, so,
I guess you could say.
we don't have as many as we used to, but,
I guess you could limit it to however many bedrooms are in that house, and then say so many people.
yeah.
But yeah, I remember when it started, I mean, he has an intent, he has an intent to, I'm not sure what it is, I mean, to house people, but the one he's got, most of the time he has a firm, people working for a particular firm that's in this house.
Don't we already have a multifamily ordinance somewhere in there?
I'd have to look.
Well, we do have an ordinance that says how many people can be in a residence, a house.
And we have an ordinance that
Right.
talks about what a dormitory is.
Right.
But one of the things that they're finding in, especially college towns, places like that, is the kids will rent out the Airbnbs for a weekend, and that's where they party. So you have,
that was one of his concerns, was the people parking in
Yeah,
the
and that,
backyard.
and that has been a
back
concern
out.
more than anything when I was fire chief. I mean, that's, one of my firemen at the time lived next door, and parking had been more of an issue than anything. We'll look into it, we'll come.
Nothing else, we might do some research, see what other towns are doing.
yeah, just give us some guidance
Yeah.
if it does come up.
Yeah, you should never know what might come up, yeah, so
The
we,
commissioner will know what to do, and
okay,
we'll know where you guys are at.
okay. We'll go around, yeah,
And in reality, that a lot of them are, I mean, we just don't know about it because they're not called Airbnb. 'Cause
Yeah.
I've known
Yeah.
multiple people that's
Yeah.
renting, 7, 8 rooms in their house for,
Mhm.
like you said,
Mhm.
transient workers.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's,
they're just.
there is a
playing
fine
under the
line.
covers.
Now, we do have
During water
ordinances
melons,
against
too.
I
that.
know, but if you don't know it,
If you don't know they're out there, I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes
Well,
we.
he obviously knows one.
Well,
Well,
I'm just kidding.
in reality, it is shut down now, but,
yeah,
yeah.
I mean, it's hard to, and we're good, I mean, eventually I think we'll catch wind of it,
Yeah, I mean, you hope it's not too late.
No. So
That's what
we
happens.
we have some borderline issues in that same kind of situation almost. It's out there, so we'll look into it and see if we can get back to the council with some guidance on that, so we can tell. Okay, Councilman Linsert.
We all had the one call about the late fees being 10% for being
Oh,
late
yeah.
on the utilities. Alan, do you know when that was put in, the 10%? Anita?
I think 2014.
Yeah, it was like one of the rate
Yeah,
increases that we did,
yeah.
that we raised the fees.
And
That
the
was-
concern was that it was pretty steep, whether,
I think what it was at the time is it wasn't steep enough, and kind of like with everything, we wanted to make it a deterrent more than anything. And I think that on the advice of our people that we paid some good money to give a rate study, suggested it.
Rather than doing a rate increase, that was one of the other ways that you could raise,
consume some of the.
yeah, get more money.
And then everybody else wasn't subsidizing the people that were always late.
So the way I understand
That's
it,
the reason why it came in effect.
it was 3 at the time back then, and it went to 10.
So
Some of the other cities I've talked to are doing similar stuff, but they're doing their 10% a little differently on
Up to a
what
certain
portion,
amount,
what portion of the bill they're doing it with. Most people are doing 10, but they're kind of doing 10 in like a little different way.
And I think we just did it to make it easier in billing.
There again, it's not something we want to do. It's put in place for a particular reason, and we're not. We're not trying to see how much money we can make on this. I mean, but we're trying to encourage people to.
So the question I have, Anita might be able to ask, is we kind of talked about this last week, or 2 weeks ago. I get my social security check on 3rd, maybe 1st, I don't know. And, but my bill's due the 28th. So what, if I call you up, what will you guys, can you pre-rate my bill to where we can?
If you are on social security income, you can request,
A steady
what's
payment.
the word? Well, you can do the budget billing. Budget billing people don't get penalties because they pay the same amount every month until the last month when you
Right.
pay the balance. But we have penalty exempt if you are on social security and you request it. Now, saying that, I don't think we ever wrote an ordinance for that. So we probably should do that.
I don't remember seeing it.
But Stacy says
I
they.
don't recall that.
No, Stacy says I checked with Stacy and they do this, but the whole thing is that if the person requests it, if they request it,
That would be something else we need to inform
Yeah.
them, because this was the complaint,
yeah,
is that she got her check on
yeah.
X day.
Like the
and-
bill is
and-
15th
and
and
the
she got her
bill was
check on the
This
20th.
day, and she was
Yeah.
late every time, so
Yeah.
as long as we can fix it.
Yeah,
We probably do need to do an ordinance for that, truthfully,
okay.
Good idea.
just to cover it.
But yeah,
Why we're doing that is that we're looking into how the other cities are consuming that 10%,
No.
or do you guys like, okay?
It's just,
I'll just say that.
Right.
no, I mean, they're
they're a
all,
billing nightmare if you try to get
It's-
10% to
it's-
this.
It's so easy to have 10% across the board, and truthfully, the same customers pay the penalty every month.
well, and it's for utilities, what we're talking about, it's on the same bill,
Right, right.
it's,
Actually,
actually.
But there again, we're not trying to do this to make money. We're trying to do this to, just encourage people, deter people to pay. This is not something we want to do.
Why are the same people missing it that are consistently paying it? Is it because they're struggling and we're now putting another fee on top of them because they're broke? I'm asking it. Me and you had discussions
When I say
before.
multitude of reasons there.
Yeah.
Struggling for particular reasons, probably. I mean,
But when we put the 10% in, it really helped
It reduced.
tremendously.
Okay, I'm just asking that question as fair as,
Some
is
people
it-
don't pay their bill until we shut them off, just because they don't, every month. the same.
I'm sure IMPA has an ordinance on that.
Actually, the bill is due when it's sent out. That's what we always had to tell them.
and then you got
Due when you get, when you.
so many
get-
days to.
So your grace
Plan
period
ahead.
is
Plan
actually
for that.
the due date. I mean, if you wanna look at it like that. Cause
Well,
the
then
caller had said almost every bill has a grace period before.
But it does.
There's 3 weeks.
It does.
We mail it out, it's due in 3 weeks, and then it's 2 more weeks before
We can do shut
something
off.
else, and then another week before they're shut off, so there's a long time to pay that.
Yeah, there's 6 weeks there.
Yeah, but the penalty would come after the 3 weeks, right?
Correct.
after the due date?
But they don't get shut off for
No.
2 or 3 more weeks after.
Well, like I said, the one that contact wasn't concerned to get shut off.
No.
It was the fact that her bill was always right before she got paid.
Yeah, and 2
And I guess a lot of times she would make it, again, I don't know how utilities are.
A lot of times, the customer will call us and say, hey, I get my check on the 25th, and it's due on the 28th, and we would just make a notation, and they would not get penalized.
See,
Yeah.
which would be
You just
great.
have to call
That they
And, and that's what we want them to do. That's what we want them to do.
But
We want them to call and let us know, and we'll do that for them.
When it was due, it was due.
so
But it don't happen every month. It happens just what depends on how the pays fall.
Where they fall, yeah.
Yeah, and the billing.
Numbers, how many delinquency fees a month do we
Collect.
collect?
I've been gone.
100?
Oh, I think it does vary. I didn't get that exact total from Stacy. I know she's got it, and I can get it. I mean, how much we do, but it varies a little bit, of course. During this COVID thing, the governor's not let us do the delinquents and the shut-offs, and since middle of March till now, we've lost about $100,000. But I can find that information out for you. But there again, I'd like to get the information out and let people like that know on Social Security. Let them know. Just
Right.
let us help you.
I don't know how you get the information.
Is that 100,000 reimbursable by the state?
No,
Yeah, but I'd wait till we have an ordinance for that.
no.
It should
Before
be.
you- before
There's
you-
been a lot of talk about that. There's been a lot of talk about that, but no, it's not.
So, is there other places that have an ordinance you think that we could contact Anita? I mean,
It would be
IMPA
an
guy,
easy ordinance.
you know anybody?
Put one up. You
Yeah.
don't have to contact anybody, it's just,
Yeah,
So Stacy can probably figure something out.
we can get one.
Just tell me what the policy is and we'll just codify it, yeah.
Yeah, I'll have Stacy do that.
I'm sure it's some kind of a state rule or law or something that we go by, no? Just
just
something,
if State Board of Accounts would, like when State Boards come, they don't.
right.
If they were to go and pull our penalties and see that these people didn't get penalized, then they would check, why didn't they get penalized?
Yeah, you need
They
to
just need to have
be able
something
to.
back it up.
So
Yeah.
That's all it
be a
is.
simple ordinance.
Yeah.
then.
Very simple.
Okay, we'll do that. We'll look into that.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with the policy, it just needs
Yeah.
to be codified, yeah.
Yeah.
I had one other person in contact, actually two, about golf carts and ATVs. ATVs. Okay, so
Not
you
allowed.
guys have dealt with this before. Their
Not allowed.
issue, if they're not allowed, their issue is why
Yeah.
are our departments using them and driving them on city streets?
Yeah, they're not allowed.
We have one, maybe two departments that will drive on city streets from point A to point B, doing work. One, the Parks Department goes down, they got a sprayer in the back of the RTV, and they go down on Main Street and they water those things for the women with the beautification committee.
I join in on that too.
Uh-huh.
Anytime, like if it's a business, like the gas company here, and they're doing work, we don't say anything to them. It is, they're not just driving it around the bee driving, they're actually out
Work.
doing a job. So, yeah, they're not supposed to technically, but we also don't run around and say, oh, you can't use that to do whatever job you're doing. We got a guy that drives a lawnmower around every day. We don't say, so, but the problem is state law does not recognize ATVs. So the only option they give you is for golf carts. The city can legally allow golf carts. There's nothing in the law that allows for ATVs or
ATV, RTVs, yeah.
Because golf carts are considered slow-moving vehicles, and of course we know the rest of them aren't slow-moving because they can move. So that's the thing. We run into this every year, and I get calls too all the time. Want to know how come they can't get their ATVs registered? That it's just not permitted in state law.
Chief, what would happen if our mule would get hit based on what you just said?
Well, as long as we have insurance and we're covering it. No, I understand, but like I said, we try not to just, we can nitpick everything.
No, I'm not asking the question.
No, I know.
think the same thing.
The city's insurance would be responsible.
And that's the only incident I can think of, we do that. The rest of them is on our city grounds.
I'm not saying
yeah,
stop, but I'm just
no.
sitting there saying what happens if.
I know, I agree.
Yeah.
So the rest of the time, we're at the park, and the Parks Department's using theirs, we're on our city.
Be the same if somebody hits a mini excavator or a backhoe or something.
Driving down the street, yeah.
So
No, that's the question.
I did call, make a couple of phone calls on that, and talk to, as far as I was looking at, the size of it and the motor and all that, and I was gonna call Todd, I didn't get a chance to call Todd today, but I knew.
Brian has something to add.
Yeah, Brian.
Mayor, we use ours almost daily to do right-of-way maintenance and weed spraying. Unlike private,
We got
ours are
5,
lit
6
with
parks.
proper emergency
Yeah.
lighting,
Yeah.
as is the Parks Department.
Right.
Now, those businesses, I don't know. I don't know how they're lit, but ours are lit.
Yeah, theirs is too.
60-degree
Yeah.
amber light,
Yeah.
the same as all of
You
ours.
probably don't wanna put that to that guy you were
No.
talking to, cause then he'll think if I do the same
You
thing.
wanna
Yeah.
equip his,
Well, they're properly lit, and they have the city logo on it.
Just by
so
state
they're-
law,
they're
just
a
state law,
city-
we can't do
Well, I'm
it.
just saying, he's writing it down, I'm thinking he's gonna tell us guy.
Yeah, there's a state
I'm
ordinance,
just taking
and
notes.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
we can use there is a state law.
We probably get 2 or 3 calls a year.
Yeah.
ATVs, and I just refer them back to the state law. It just doesn't permit cities to allow them to be used as transportation. Going to the grocery store, going to the, going and doing your shopping, things like that. They're just, going to breakfast, whatever.
For theirs?
Do I-
Does the county still allow it for their?
Yeah, DNR, but they go through DNR, it's
DNR.
a totally different thing. You can still get your numbers through DNR for them.
Okay.
Speak about golf carts, so like my street, Highland and 57, you can't cross there.
Not supposed to cross there.
Right, and 11 and 50, you can't cross there, so Tom didn't get a golf cart, but anyway.
He's stuck.
He's stuck, we're in. But almost needs bigger signs, because I see people doing that all the time, crossing. And
I
it's-
saw one of those signs.
People don't read it.
They're so condemned, and we just
Flashing sign there, and they still
They
wouldn't
didn't
read
pay
it.
attention.
we just need to address it when we see it, but it's hard to.
Yeah.
We talked about that, we actually did discuss that.
Okay.
We may not want to talk about that here. We don't have anything prohibiting, since Highway 50 is a city street now too.
Oh.
You can't technically keep golf carts off.
We can if we put it in an ordinance. We can if you put it in an ordinance.
Well, we talked about that.
Or the Board of Works, they're in charge of the streets. So
Yeah,
can
we
actually-
talked about that here last year, about putting it in the
They can
ordinance.
make it, they can make it a little.
Okay. Any other questions on this or concerns? You got any?
I do have one thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Go ahead.
is everybody done?
Well, I'm just gonna go around.
Food Truck Tuesday tomorrow?
Yes, I was gonna mention.
Oh, you were?
No, go ahead.
5 to 8 at the park.
Yes.
We're encouraging to-go orders, but so we're not having entertainment, but there are tables there
Yeah.
that you can
We
set
can
at.
social distance there,
Just proper guidance and social distancing.
Yes.
I think we have 5 tomorrow night. There's some people getting trouble getting started after the layoff, so next week I think we have 8 so far, so we should have 10 here in a few weeks after 4th of July, so.
Yeah.
The parks are open though.
Yes, yes, they're open, everything. And the governor will speak again on July 3rd, and we'll see what Phase 5 brings. And, but remember, and I'll say this again, because we won't have another council meeting, July 7th, we're not having Food Truck Tuesday because we'll be doing the parking lot that week.
Yeah.
At the city park.
Yeah, but other than
So,
that,
yeah, other than that,
all the way.
yeah, other than that, we're good to go for,
Are the picnic tables open?
yeah,
They are open.
yeah. So just a reminder, just because we don't have a next meeting till the 13th. Okay?
Alan, when do you wanna wait till after July 4th before we wrap up that new ordinance for that? Start working on
Yeah,
that?
and I talked to Kit, because I actually have I need to send it out to the committee, just the rough draft, and then I think they're gonna come together on, I think maybe there's miscommunication on what we needed from the clerk's office, but just to come together with some guidance for the other part of that, so I can get that kind of in a ordinance form to the committee, and we can go through those before we send it to Tim for him to tear it apart, so.
When is your meeting?
We do not have a meeting
Okay.
set. I'm gonna email it out to them just to look at the committee, to kind of do the initial tear down and build up of whatever they want to see in it, and then once we are satisfied with it, then we'll probably just, I mean, it's just an informal committee, so we'll just send it to the,
Okay.
as long as everybody agrees to the changes, we can just probably do that all by email,
Okay.
I think.
Okay, very good.
And then get that set.
Okay, well, are you done, Darren? You got anything else?
No, I'm good.
Randy, you got anything?
No.
Okay, Doug, you got anything?
Nothing.
Tim?
I don't.
Alan?
I'm good.
Okay,
Good. I
David?
don't have anything.
Tom?
Good.
Good, and Beth?
No, not.
Okay, anybody else got anything for this council? Okay, hearing none, I'm gonna call this meeting adjourned. Let's call the meeting to order, the Board of Public Works Safety Meeting, June 22nd, 2020. Show for the record that all members are present. Approval of the minutes, the June 8th, 2020 meeting that was sent to this board.
I move they be approved as written.
I'll second.
Councilman Dahl makes the motion and Anita seconds it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The claims has been sent to us from the Common Council. Anybody got any questions or any other questions on these claims?
I'll make a motion, we approve the claims as submitted.
Nita?
I'll second that.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We got discussion and approval of the sidewalk and curb replacement applications. John, you want to say anything? We got like 6 of them, I believe.
All but one are in front of you tonight. The 7th one we did not turn in yet. We're going to wait till the next meeting. It's due with Pregnancy Care Center. Working with Brian in the street department and the Richie in the sewer department. There's some issues with the Front Street corner. We kind of met and took quite a while to analyze that. I think we're going to kind of widen that intersection a little bit more. So it took a little more time to measure than just a traditional sidewalk, but I think it's going to be a lot better in the long run.
And we'll reach out. I have one board member on that Pregnancy Care Center that's been asking me about this, and I'll reach out to him and explain to him why we're putting that one on hold right now until we get some other action done.
I do have the customer side total. We just haven't finished up our side, and that's why it wasn't presented.
Okay. And I'll have him to reach out to your office if he has any other questions about that. But yeah, we got the 6 that we'd like to get started on as soon as we can, weather permitting.
I move we approve those.
Okay, Councilman Dahl makes a motion to approve these 6 applications, and Nita seconds it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, very good. Next on here, we got hearing request, Rosemary Harder appealing charges received for violation of Chapter 99 of the City of Washington Code of Ordinances. Mrs. Harder.
Yes. I was at the last council meeting, and I gave people on the board, or gave out one of the letters that I had completed on that, chronologically detailing what I had done and what you had told me, and talking to various people. We mowed the lot. We got a letter on May the 11th from the building commissioner's office. We mowed the lot on May the 21st, which we were supposed to do. And then supposedly the city came and mowed it on the 27th and sent us the bill for $187 and something. I'm only asking that you be fair and reasonable with this. We did mow the lot. I have no idea if the city mowed it or not. I do know I talked to people, neighbors down in the area, and they said they've not seen the city down there doing any mowing. So all I'm asking is that you be fair and reasonable with me. It was mowed, and I don't know why they would have mowed it again. So that's all I'm asking, that you rescind the $187.50.
Okay. Brent, do you?
I've had numerous discussions with
Yeah.
you, Mayor.
Yeah.
I've had discussions with Anita and David.
We do have pictures, you probably won't have those with you.
No, but the guys cut it on the 27th, and I checked that Anita called me today, wanted to know about what time. It was from 10 to 10:30. That was when we was there, when we mowed it. Again, I can go on and on, but
Yeah.
there's no
Yeah,
need.
I mean, we've had several conversations on this, and I never once denied that Rosemary did not mow it on the 21st. I never once. I just know we mowed it on the 27th, and that's the only thing I was saying. We did provide a service, and that's on the city side. That's the, that's where we stand on that.
What's the procedure if a crew goes out to mow and it's questionable as whether or not it needs to be mowed, what are they trained to do?
They'll always call me if they have a question. The guys, they got plenty to do. They're not gonna mow a property that doesn't need mowed. They got a lot on their plate during the day, so I didn't receive a phone call. Like I said, Carl and Terry, if it needs mowed, they're gonna mow it. If not, they're gonna move on.
Like I said, we talked several times, and I hate this, but honestly, we're not in the mowing business, and we don't want to mow people's grass. There's no reason. We got too much other stuff to do. There's no reason why we want to mow grass. So she asked for this hearing, and we bring it to this board for their thoughts.
My thought would be at 10 to 10:30 in the morning, my neighbors aren't home during the day, so it could be that they weren't there when the city crew came down.
Well, I'm pretty sure this particular individual was home.
But I have no doubts in our department.
Consider
I
knocking
don't
off the
think that they
administrative fee.
not be truthful about it.
Yeah.
And Brent also told me the grass had gotten to 13 or 14 inches high.
Oh, really? In less than a week? Do you find that?
Depending on the weather, I told Mrs. Harder, I said, depending on the weather, it can happen. I don't know what the weather was back on the 27th of May, just right after the Memorial Day weekend. You guys,
Is there any compromise, what's our leeway as far as what we can do?
Well, I mean, the Board of Public Works can, obviously, they can agree not to have her pay the fee. They can require that she pays the fee, or that you could, come up with some sort of compromise. And just looking at it, I mean, my suggestion would be to consider knocking off the administrative fee.
Which is how much?
The $75, which that's not directly the manpower or the equipment used, it's just a tack-on fee, and this might be the ideal case to knock that off.
the $112.50 was for the mowers, the manpower. It's all broken down. Did you get a copy of the?
No, I did not.
Maybe in the future, we could, make it a policy to
I
take
should've
pictures
made it.
before and after.
That's the original.
That would seem like a good idea.
Well,
To remove the administrative fee, and in the future, we'll have a date, time-stamped picture before
Exactly.
they mow.
we're gonna, our policy from here on out is to take a picture before and after, definitely. We've told, and that's what we're gonna do. We have pictures of this yard after we mowed it, and it matches up to tracks our skag mowers, they got paid, but we will change our policy and make sure we do that, because so we don't hopefully have this conversation.
I would make a motion to remove the administrative fee this one time.
I would second that.
Okay, I make a motion by Anita and second by Councilman Dahl. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the bill will be $112.50. We're knocking up $75 off that bill for the administrative fee on this one-time thing. Okay, any other questions? Any other body in the audience got anything for the Board of Works? Have we? Go ahead.
On the sidewalk, I know we did the memorial on one side.
Yeah.
Has State Street ever been considered? Because I've been asked a lot by my neighbors.
Back in the previous administration, I've heard conversation about State Street before. We never did do anything with it. But, I don't know, we'd have to look at that. We haven't looked at it since I've been in office.
Done by a grant or just done by, I'm having 4 years?
Right, yeah.
funds, it wasn't over any.
No, we just,
We did it out of the
yeah,
sidewalk fund.
yeah, yeah.
Just something maybe to think about, because I've had a couple of people holler at me when I'm walking in their yard and say, you do a sidewalk, you wouldn't have to walk.
It's a busy street.
It is a very busy street. I don't know how much room, how much access we got there, you know.
I don't know what the right of way is.
Yeah, I don't know either. I would have to do some looking at it. I wouldn't think there'd be much there, but we'll have to look at how much right of way there is there, if it's even possible, and,
We'll put it on the list.
I've done my duty.
well, we'll look at it. Yeah, we'll look at it and see. Yeah, they did that once before. I don't know what the outcome was.
If you walk, and Randy can say this too, like one side of the sidewalk's on this side, and then another part it's over on this side.
Yeah, over on Memorial.
You're zigzagging, and then part of the way it's neither side.
Still in the stream.
Pardon?
I've got a sidewalk 20 feet outside my window, and they're walking in the road every single day.
Yeah.
I walk on the sidewalk.
I walk on the
Brand new
sidewalk.
sidewalk on Memorial Avenue is sitting there bare, and nobody's on it, and people are walking down the middle of the road every single morning.
Yep.
We walk on the sidewalk. Randy walks.
Yeah, I have seen Randy. Randy's like that.
Gold star for Randy.
Okay. Anybody else got anything? I know Beth, Betsy, you got some
I
other
got
business?
a couple things.
Yeah, go ahead.
I guess I'm gonna blame it on COVID. That's what we blame everything on, but back on April 27th, the minutes of the Board of Public Works, I had a typo in there, and I would request that you would make a motion to amend those, amend the minutes, and let me correct it. And what it was, we decided, or you decided, to accept the bid from Springs Valley Bank and Trust for the car leases. Instead of typing in Springs Valley Bank and Trust, I typed in First Financial.
And we didn't catch it.
And we didn't catch that,
Okay.
but Springs Valley caught it when I sent them the minutes today, so I would like a motion to
I'll
get
make
that
that
changed.
motion to change that to.
Oh, thank you.
I'll second that.
Okay.
I can't believe
All in
it.
favor, say
Aye.
aye. All right, thank you.
Thank you very
And
much.
you have one other thing you say?
I
I
can't
think
read
that's
them.
it.
Oh, you just, okay, okay, I thought you had.
I've got some other forms for
Uh,
me.
Yes,
The
okay.
cars
Any-
are coming in this week, right, Todd?
Todd?
Cars are coming in this week, right?
Yes, we've got one left. And they were all consecutive VIN numbers, so it's out there somewhere.
Okay.
I think I've seen it over on the other side of town this
Finances
evening, I
here,
think.
We're ready to roll. So,
Okay,
okay.
all right.